Hey there. So I have this random piece of wood. As you can see, it's not that big. It's cut specific ways. It's actually made by my high school physics teacher. Now I know what this does because I talked to him and he told me what it does and he showed me what it does. But I'm going to guess you couldn't guess what this is supposed to do just by looking at it. Here, let me show you. This is just an ordinary belt, but when combined with this piece of wood, it actually demonstrates a physics principle in a very specific way. I can balance both the wood and the belt on my fingers, and you can see that. Now I could go into the details of why this is. You can internet search it and things like that. But the point I want to make is to figure out what something does, it's quite often good to talk to the creator of that thing. I would not have been able to guess that. You probably weren't able to guess that either unless you knew my high school physics teacher. So when you want to know why something was created, you must talk to the creator. What was the reason humanity was designed for? Why were we created? Again, the easiest way to answer that question is to ask the creator. Has God communicated to us any specifics as to why we were created? To begin our discussion, let's return to a passage we have examined previously. This is Genesis 1:26 through 31. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. They will rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, the livestock, all the earth, and the creatures that crawl on the earth." So God created man in his own image. He created him in the image of God. He created them male and female. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and every creature that crawls on the earth." God also said, "Look, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the surface of the entire earth, and every tree whose fruit contains seeds. This food will be for you, for all the wildlife of the earth, for every bird of the sky, and for every creature that crawls on the earth, everything having the breath of life in it. I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. Evening came, and then morning, the sixth day. Immediately after God created humans, God gave us tasks. We were created to rule the other creatures. We were created to be fruitful and multiply. We were created to fill the earth. We were created to subdue it. God gave humanity work to accomplish that required us to intentionally spend energy to produce a change. At this point, we do not need to know the exact definition and intent of the words rule, subdue, fruitful, multiply, and fill to understand that they mean some form of work. We were created by God to work. In this passage, we also see the God who created us to work. In the second part of it, not only were we created to work, that was the reason behind why God created us, but God goes on and commands or tells us or instructs us to do this work as well. Our assignment is from God. We work because God told us to. God's purpose for us is to work. God designed and commanded us to work. We can see each member of the Trinity involved. God the Father created us. Christ the communicator told us what we should do, and the Holy Spirit empowered us to accomplish the work. We were created and commanded by God to work.